What's happening, gang? It's your boy Retro back again with another reaction video. Yeah. Today we got another huge update. You guys can probably already tell that it is going down. Just by that title alone, you guys are definitely gonna want to check this one out. So we got that Democratic House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, feeble and now powerless as President Trump and the Senate Republicans now decided to opt out of the current government hostage situation and to choose the nuclear option to force the government back open, guys. I'm excited to get into this one, so we're not straight into it. All I ask that you guys please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and without further ado, hop straight into it, folks. Check this one out.
Can you just speak to some of the programs that Democrats want funding for in the $1.5 trillion list of demands? We've heard things like $13.4 million for civic engagement in Zimbabwe, $3.9 million for LGBTQ democracy grants in the Balkans, things like this. You guys say this is about saving healthcare, but how do these pet projects fit
we have no idea what you're talking about or what Republican extremists fed you those talking points. But the reality is what we are doing is defending the healthcare of the American people. Yeah, we do want to restore the fact that the largest cut to Medicaid in American history has been visited upon the American people by Donald Trump and Republicans, even though they promised to love and cherish Medicaid. But instead of doing that, they cut about $1 trillion from Medicaid. And as a result of that fact, hospitals, nursing homes, and community-based health centers are closing all across the country, including in Republican states like Georgia, like Alabama, and Republican states all across the country. And Republicans have visited the largest cut to Medicaid in American history on their own people. That's what we want to restore.
All right, folks, so there it is, straight from the horse's mouth. Hakeem Jeffries once again not able to deny these insane international projects that he wants taxpayers to fund, but instead now he's calling folks extremists if he's even questioned about them. This right here is what we mean by the Democratic leadership is lost. They're not even taking any steps or measures into reopening our government. And then he takes it a step further, and now he's vowing to clean up quote-unquote corruption in Washington, D.C., and also ended it off saying that he is going to investigate President Donald Trump's ballroom renovations. Check this out.
We're also fighting to clean up corruption in Washington, D.C., where we have an American president behaving like an organized crime boss, stealing taxpayer dollars in real time in front of everyone in plain sight. And the Republicans have nothing to say about the emerging crime scene at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
Any executive authority. And more likely, this is part of what Donald Trump has been doing since day one of his presidency, running the largest pay-to-play scheme in the history of the country, and probably soliciting donations from people who've got business before the United States government. And all of this is going to have to be investigated. It will. All of this will have to be uncovered. It will. And these people are going to be held accountable no matter how long it takes. That's going to be the reality of the situation. And that's our warning to all of these people participating in this scheming to manipulate taxpayer dollars and, of course, to destroy the people's house. The White House belongs to the American people. It doesn't belong to Donald Trump.
Once again, we're seeing Hakeem Jeffries doing everything but his job, vowing to clean up this so-called corruption in Washington, D.C. But the last time I checked, his party is the party of corruption in Washington, D.C. Give me a break. And now this guy is going on about Trump's White House renovations with the new ballroom, saying that it's going to be funded by taxpayers and they're going to investigate this to the fullest. But we all know this has been privately funded. There's donors left and right looking out for President Donald Trump. This guy has completely lost it. Now get this, guys, we got the second leader in charge of the House Democrats admitting that they're using Americans as pawns, as leverage by keeping the government shut down. And the first thing that Hakeem Jeffries says in response is President Donald Trump. Just look at this.
The shutdowns are terrible. And of course there will be, you know, families that are going to suffer. We take that responsibility very seriously. But it is one of the few leverage times we have.
Republicans say this is an admission that Democrats are using the American people as political leverage during this shutdown. You want to respond?
Donald Trump is the president. Republicans control the House and the Senate. They've made the decision to shut down the government.
Give me a break. You seriously can't make this stuff up with these loonies on the left. That right there, what we're seeing from Hakeem Jeffries is that Trump derangement syndrome live in effect. I mean, this guy can't keep Trump's name out of his mouth. And we can see right here that the second in charge of the House, Dems, is saying, hey, the American families are going to suffer, but we have to use them as leverage in order to, you know, get what we want. This is absolutely disgusting. It's sad to see what the Democratic Party has come to. And for anyone that's still out there remotely believing the lies of Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer, here's Caroline Leavitt and Speaker Mike Johnson airing out all the facts that need to be heard.
They are trying to reverse this and restore taxpayer-funded health care for illegal aliens like these. Throughout this shutdown, Democrats have said this quiet part out loud. Senator Chuck Schumer, the leader of the caucus that is refusing to open the government, said, quote, "Every day gets better as the shutdown continues." Ask the air traffic controllers if every day is getting better, Senator Schumer, and they will tell you absolutely not. House Democrat Catherine Clark said, "There are going to be families that are going to suffer. We take that responsibility seriously, but this is one of the few leverage points that we have." Here is a House Democrat who is admitting that they are using Americans who are suffering as political leverage. And Senator Bernie Sanders said, "If you reopen the government, we lose our leverage." This is pure partisan games. A senior Democrat aide said the party will not end the shutdown, quote, "short of planes falling out of the sky." That is truly a disturbing statement. The Democrats clearly don't care about this suffering. They care about playing political games against President Trump, and this dangerous charade needs to end. The president, in Republicans' position, has been clear and unchanged. Pass a clean, nonpartisan funding bill to reopen the government. And then we can talk about all of the partisan issues that the Democrats wish to. If you're watching at home, we urge you to call your Democrat senators and tell them to put our country over their party and reopen the government today.
By way of review, the reason that my colleagues and I have come in here every morning now during this painful Schumer shutdown is because we have to share the facts and we have to share the simple truth with the American people. And why is that? Because the Democrats are working overtime to try to hide those facts and to try to distract from the very simple truth here. They want you to forget that just 5 Senate Democrats could reopen the government today. All we need is 5 of them. They try to pretend that their counterproposal deal doesn't reinstate free health care for illegal aliens, $200 billion of taxpayer funds. They try to pretend that their counterproposal would not send billions of dollars in wasteful spending for social projects in foreign countries overseas. They don't want you to look at the facts. They don't want you to look at the paperwork that they themselves filed as the counterproposal. And they refuse to admit that this entire shutdown is one big political game to satisfy the radical Marxist base of their party. But that is exactly what is going on.
So that one right there was for everyone that was on the fence or somewhat believing what's coming from these loonies on the left. But that right there should tell you exactly what this is. This is another attempt at partisan games from the left because they hate President Donald Trump. And it has to stop. I mean, you guys hate President Trump more than you love serving American families. It's absolutely disgusting behavior from the Democrats. And instead of trying to strike a deal, we've got Hakeem and Jeffries now having another mental breakdown on CNN. I want you guys to take a look at this.
You heard the speaker suggest you guys, the Democrats, are acting like terrorists, holding the American people hostage right now in order to get what you want. You want to just quickly respond to that?
Well, that type of language is reckless, it's irresponsible, and it's going to get someone killed. What do these folks not understand as it relates to the language that they continue to use? We should be able to battle it out in the contest of ideas, as opposed to trying to use these extreme terms that have been unleashed on the American people from the very beginning of this presidency, and matter of fact, for a long period of time by the current president and those sycophants who continue to do nothing more than rubber stamp his extreme agenda and hurt the American people. These are folks in the House, in terms of the Republicans, They've been on vacation for the last 4 weeks. They have actually canceled votes 4 consecutive weeks in a row. And as Democrats, we've been here. Leader Schumer, Senate Democrats, House Democrats making clear. We are ready, we are willing, we are able to sit down with anyone, anytime, any place in order to reopen the government, enact a spending agreement that actually improves the quality of life of the American people, that lowers costs for the American people because this country is too expensive, and also does the things necessary to ensure that tens of millions of Americans are not going to experience dramatically increased health care premiums that for many may increase by $1,000 or $2,000 per year. That is unsustainable. And the average income for folks, or in fact more than 90% of the people who receive Affordable Care Act tax credits make around $63,000 per year. We're fighting for working class Americans, for everyday Americans, and for middle class Americans, while Republicans continue to do the bidding of their billionaire donors.
Oh, brother, is it just me, or is Hakeem Jeffries quickly becoming one of the most insufferable human beings to listen to on planet Earth? I mean, it is just lie after lie after lie with this guy, and everyone is wizened up to the gaslight and manipulation tactics of these loonies on the left, so no one's buying it. Get real. Sit down with President Donald Trump, the Senate Republicans, and strike a deal to reopen the government. It's just that simple. And honestly, a deal's not going to be cut until you guys reopen the government. So go ahead and make that vote. But I want to flip over to a flashback of Obama-era Chuck Schumer amidst the government shutdown. He says it all himself. He says that there will be no negotiations until the hostage situation is over. So he knows it's not right what they're doing.
Sooner or later, they're going to have to say, okay, we'll fund the government, and then we'll discuss things. But as has been said over and over again, not with a gun to our heads.
Even Chuck Schumer knows that what the Dems are currently attempting is absolutely wrong. No one is going to strike a deal with the left until they release us from this current hostage situation. It's just as simple as that. And we got Senator Fetterman, a Democratic senator, back at it again, calling out his own party, saying that he's not afraid to stand up to their base. Check him out.
They're talking about when your cycle comes up, they want to primary you. What is your response to them?
I really, I'm not afraid of telling the truth. As I've said, I'll be the Democrat that refuses to lie to the base and pretend that this is right. You know, I'm proud to stand with Israel. I'm proud to say that we need to secure our border. You know, I think it's entirely appropriate to bomb the Iranian nuclear facilities. And now I refuse to call my fellow citizens as they're fascists or Nazis or those things. I mean, I will agree also that we must keep our government open. And if somebody wants to primary me or the party wants to vote me out, it's like I'm going to go down being honest and telling you that this is wrong to do these kinds of things, and I refuse to do that. I think we need to be a big tent party. That doesn't sound like it.
One of the last sane Democrats is what it looks like we're seeing right here with Senator John Fetterman saying it straight to their faces, saying, hey, we need to wisen up and stop the games. The charades are not going to get us anywhere. And it sounds like they're not going to have Senator John Fetterman for much longer, as he may be pulling the RFK Jr. or Tulsi Gabbard and coming over to the Republican Party as well, because these folks have clearly lost it. But you guys already know this has the internet in a complete frenzy and uproar. And I want to check in with the perspectives and reactions of folks on X. So we're going to start off here with our friend 0 Hour on X, tweeting out saying Democrats are going to starve 42 million people for illegal aliens. Get real. They don't care about you folks. You aren't future voters. They already count on your vote. I mean, like, come on. We know what the Dems are trying to do, and that's why they're continuously putting these illegals ahead of American citizens. It's absolutely sad to see. He finished it off saying that you aren't just a tool, or as some say, collateral damage. We need to wake up and realize if you're still supporting the Democratic Party, it may be time for you to walk away. I'm just saying it. Next up, we got Insurrection Barbie here on X, tweeting out saying Democrats just blocked the bill to pay our military and essential workers because they can't hand out free healthcare to illegals. Really? You're kidding me. And that's what really grinds my gears. You know, these brave men and women put their lives on the line day in and day out, and now they're not going to receive a paycheck. They're not going to be able to feed their families, put food on the table, pay their bills, because Democrats want to put illegals ahead of American citizens once again. And then she says, I don't care what your problem is with the Republican Party. And yes, they are not the solution. But today's Democratic Party surpassed rock bottom a long time ago. And I'm telling you, they're crumbling. Their party base is falling apart. Won't be long before the Democratic Party is no longer. And last but certainly not least, we got a major bombshell that I stumbled across. This was from Fox News research that opens up a nuclear option where the Senate could vote to change the rules to bypass that filibuster to reopen our federal government. And I want to dive into what that means. So essentially what this nuclear option does is it strips the minority party in the Senate of power to use that filibuster. And that's what we're seeing the Dems exercise in order to keep our government shut down. And what this nuclear option also does is it changes the vote total that we need to break the filibuster from 60 votes down to 51. So our last vote, the 12th one, came in. It was 54 votes yes, and then 46 votes no. So it looks like we're getting a couple Democrats, or one Democrat, I should say, that is voting with the Republicans, because we got 53 Republicans in the Senate and we got 47 Democrats in the Senate. So it looks like we could drop that down. If we get it to, this nuclear option with 51 votes, we've already got 53 or 54 votes. That's more than enough to go ahead and reopen our federal government. I'm not sure what we're waiting on, but now is the time. We see Hakeem, Jeffries, and Chuck Schumer doing everything under the sun, but coming to the table and saying, hey, we're going to go ahead and vote to reopen the government and then negotiate on the back end. Yo, there we have it, guys. Oh my goodness. Would you look at God? Looks like we've got another option to bypass even having to deal with the Senate Democrats, Chuck Schumer's Democrats, Hakeem, Jeffries folks. We could just open the government with this nuclear option. And I think that may be the play, the way out of this ridiculous government shutdown, because we can see that the Dems are going to continuously put the illegal aliens ahead of American citizens, because it seems as if they need them more than they need us at this point. But I'm not sure, guys. I'm going to leave you guys with the question of, do we enact this nuclear option in order to bypass that Senate Democrats, or do we continue down this road of letting them twiddle their thumbs and point the finger at President Donald Trump and his Republicans to say that this shutdown is all because of us? Hop in that comment section, guys. Comments are open, and I'm excited to hear what you guys are thinking on this one. Also, make sure you guys please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd enjoy more content like this, catch you guys on the next one.